Good morning and happy Tuesday. If you're listening to this live, you are blessed because you are here another day. He's blessed you with another day. You have another 24 hours to make it right. You have another 24 hours to progress, to succeed, to become successful. Whatever idea that you've been pondering on, you have today to take your next steps in pursuing that goal. Thank you for all of those who come back and listen to this stream. This is a new channel for me. I do have a channel at Diamond Perri. This is a new channel. This is a podcast. I also have another upcoming show, The Dialogue. I haven't quite started that show yet. So if you listen to this stream, I appreciate if you go ahead and like and subscribe so that I can get tapped into the algorithm on this page and I do my thing. This is a very positive podcast. In the mornings, I will be going live between 8 o'clock and 8:30. I like to get started at 8 o'clock, but you know, sometimes with life, we cannot be on perfect timing, so to speak, but it's all in God's timing. So that's great. I'm usually preparing my breakfast while doing this live, or either I'm usually preparing my detox tea. So those are things that I do in the morning. I actually start my morning off at 5 a.m., which is great for me. Um, the earlier that I start my days, the better that I feel. I am totally exhausted though. This morning, I didn't get a lot of rest and was actually up throughout the night taking care of some things. And so, speaking on that, I just want to talk for a moment about how important your rest is. Getting the proper rest that you need to get. And I know the title of the live today is Your Journey. And so this actually ties in with your journey. Getting the proper rest is, of course, a part of your health regimen. This is a part of your health because if you're not resting um, and you're sluggish, then that's stress on your body. So we need to get our proper rest so that we can function the next day. And those are just things I need to work on as well. I have been getting a lot more rest than prior before this year. Last year, I didn't get as much rest as I get now, but you will understand as time goes on. And as you are on your life journey, you will understand how important it is to get rest and that, things that you're up working on at night. It's like as an entrepreneur, you need to do that. It is important to be able to take extra time and work on things and that you're not doing a lot of sleeping. But you do have to get your adequate amount of rest. So that is very important. But they say as an entrepreneur, your 5 to 9 is what's most crucial. So if you are still working a 9 to 5 and you're working on entrepreneurship, your most important times are what you do with your time before your 9 to 5 and what you do after. So you still want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence to progress with, whatever it is that you're working on. You got to take that time out. You can't, you have to take that time out. You have to discipline because see what happens is we spend so much time, and I'm just saying we as people, we as individuals, we spend so much time, focused on whatever the 9 to 5 is, and then not making time for our dream. And so that was something that I learned long ago. And in a sense, once you get closer to your main goal, what will happen is that dream will start, your life will start making space for your dream. So before you know it, you will find yourself doing that. You will find yourself doing that more than you will find yourself giving that dream more attention than your 9 to 5. And before you know it, you will already have transitioned to doing that full time without you even noticing that. You will start to transition before you even notice that you start to transition. And you will notice, wow, like all my time is going on this. That's God, just acclimating your life to fit your purpose. Your purpose is, taking up that space. Your life is making room for your purpose, whatever that is, you know. And so, speaking a little bit about the journey in life, things are not going to be easy when you're working for something major and you have to stay tunnel vision. Early on, a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, you understand the tunnel vision, but it's like you have to go through things in order to become disciplined so that you can focus on this. So, in the beginning of my career, I didn't have a lot of discipline. I almost didn't have any discipline. I was like all over the place. Um, I would be on stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And I spoke about that on one of my other podcast shows, how my personal life at that time was a mess because I was trying to figure out how to do my purpose, how to do my career in music and entertainment and balance that with my personal life. And it wasn't balancing out. And things were just a mess. I was having a lot of financial issues um, because I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't consistent enough. And at the time, I didn't even understand or know how to make money in the music industry in the beginning. Also, as well, I found out that music was not my only purpose. And so I didn't know that. And what will happen as time goes on is God will redirect you to where you're supposed to be in life. Okay. So when I first moved to Atlanta, um, my mission was to write a book and also to do music. But after my first 2 years in Atlanta, I ended up creating my talk show, which is the Perri Show. So I've had that show since 2011. Excuse me. And I transitioned from a radio show, which I always speak on that. I never wanted to do that. But I knew that I had to start from somewhere. I created the show to become a TV show. And I'm there now. Um, it is still online and it's with another online network. Now it's streaming on Status Network, but um, I have now started the process of having my own app, which is a TV network, and being able to produce other content, not just my own, not just the Diamond Perry show, but um, TV series and reality TV. So, see, I never even came to Atlanta for that. I never ever thought about becoming a TV producer. I was never interested in it. I had no idea that that was part of my calling and that was a part of my purpose. So a lot of times we start with something and then God, He will redirect you and He will let um, what your purpose is and what you were here for. I definitely never thought that it would be on TV, but remembering back to my younger years as an adolescent, I was in a lot of plays and theatrical things in school. I actually, as I believe I was in the 5th grade, I tested as one of the smartest children in the state that I was in. Um, and I'd always been a writer, so I won several writing contests with the state over any other student of different ages, older than me or younger. I won that writing contest. I got to go sit with the mayor and his wife, and that was like a big accomplishment. I was on a kitty TV show. Do not remember what it's called. I just know that they would come and pick me up from school and take me to the TV set. And I assumed that it was educational, so I assumed it had a lot to do with, um, me being a smart kid. But there was me, and there was another student in school, but he was kind of like, I was the smartest child at that school, and this is elementary school, it's grade school, so he was second. He was the second smartest student. He wasn't smarter than me, but just because he was kind of like number two or the runner up, we were friends, but we were competing. We were competitive against each other in spelling bees, math bees, and different educational um, contests and different things like that. But um, I was the smartest kid. And so thinking back to that and thinking back to my creative process as a writer and an artist, and because I also would draw. I had art all over my walls at home. I would actually write and create books and take them to school and sell them. And I would sell these books for 10 cent a piece. And the other students would buy these books. And so when I was at home, I didn't just spend time with music. I also spent time speaking, which is a part of what I do now in my career. Me doing my shows and my podcast, so I'm kind of tying that in. But I would actually pretend that I was a pastor. I would have church, and you know, um, my brother and I were a couple years apart, so he was too little to participate. So I would have to have church by myself, and I would have to be, in the pulpit, um, be the church members, and then I would have to be the preacher as well. So I would preach for hours. And so it's amazing how things that we experience during our childhood ties into our future and what our purpose was for. So this was always what God had created me for. Um, my voice, my purpose, changing lives, and providing others with inspiration through my work, not just music. So it goes much deeper than that. And also, as well, I can remember being in grade school and being asked to be Dr. Martin Luther King during Black History Month. And the school was set up to where during the speech, I had to give his speech. There were candles lit, just like it was when he gave his infamous speech. And the whole school was dark, and I walked down the aisle with candles and everything. And, this was awesome. So, this is what I was put here to do. And I am grateful. So, along your journey, you will experience things like ending up in places where you don't belong. And that is the point of this conversation today. And sometimes you will find that you will end up in places where you are too large, so to speak, for these places, for these environments where you are. So along your journey is crucial to your purpose. It's crucial to your life that you make sure that you're in the correct environment. You make sure that you're around the correct people. I'm still transitioning myself. I'm still doing the process of elimination right now, but I speak on things that I experience and things that I know. And so I know these things to be true. And I know currently, right now, there's still a few people in my life that are not supposed to be there. I have to do the due diligence of eliminating these people out of my life. They're not bad individuals, they're just not supposed to be in my life. And they actually just cannot accept me for who I am. They don't have the capacity to. Um, One individual from my past the other day told me that they didn't like me this way. They weren't interested in fame. They weren't interested in my career or me being a public figure, which I definitely take all that as an insult. But this individual said, I like the old you. And this individual had actually seen a picture of me and said, I want the old you back. Um, and said, could I possibly see you in a picture with, your hair not so done and stuff like that. So, uh, excuse me, I am preparing my breakfast, but people, like I said, you get people that cannot accept or they don't have the capacity to accept who you are, the new you. Once God has reinvented you, He has given you a new identity once you begin to walk in your purpose. And there are people that they can't unsee the version of you that they knew before you began to walk in purpose or before you understood who you were or what you were put here for. And so the most important thing is that you do not water yourself down. Do not make yourself smaller to make these individuals happy. You know, another thing, people that know you or that knew you before you walk this journey, they won't clap for you, they won't applaud. I stopped worrying about that many years ago, but don't expect that. Do not expect that. Another thing, they're not your audience anyway. So to speak, you really shouldn't care because they're not your audience. Your audience is people that knew you and learned of you when you became who you are now, not people who knew you before. Because those people, they can't unsee who they knew before, and that's all they want to see. So they're not going to accept it. And the great thing about that is this is something that God has given you. It is a gift. And when you realize that you have a gift and that you were put here on purpose, you need to understand that you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't have to confirm with anyone. Hey, is this okay for me to do? Hey, I have a new show I'm producing. What do you think? Who cares? Because this is something that God has given to you and it is a gift. So at the same time, you don't need their confirmation to see if this show is going to be okay. It's cool. Just keep moving and keep moving forward. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm speaking on things that I actually experienced in the beginning of my career. I didn't understand these things. I thought that, hey, the people that know me and the people that have known me, I thought they were proud of me. I thought they would be proud of me. No, they're not. They don't want to see that. People don't like change. Remember how many people went against Dr. Martin Luther King when he started speaking? It was his own people that wanted nothing to do with the things that he stood for, and he stood for peace. He stood for Black people, and he stood to end segregation. And Black people were mad at him. Not all, but you still got some Black people that were mad at him. because people are afraid of change and they don't like that. So when you change and you're not the individual that they knew you as before, they don't like that. And to some people, you actually, excuse me, you actually become a threat. You actually become a threat. I spoke yesterday on how I will go back to my hometown for whatever reason, different reasons or another. Um, and people that knew me or that were close to me would actually sit around and talk about me, sit around and whisper and talk about me, or try to find something wrong with me. And you could just feel it in the room. You could feel it in the atmosphere. You can feel in the atmosphere when you're being bullied or when you're being picked on. And so if you continue to accompany yourself in these environments, you will feel like something is wrong with you. You will feel like you're different, which is, hey, it's okay to be different. I know that I'm different. It's okay. But these people will make you feel like they're better and there's just something wrong with you or you're the odd person. And when they know that you know that this is not true, when they know that you are special, they're definitely going to try and make you feel the wrath. They're going to try and make you feel different, um, so that you can feel like you're the eyeball. When in actuality, it is them. There's nothing wrong with you. But the thing is that you are in the wrong environment. You're in the wrong place. You've outgrown this environment. And you have to make sure that you get yourself in the right environment, or guess what? Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. The past few times that I've returned to that environment, something has almost happened to me, or something has happened to me negatively each time, to allow me to know that I don't have any business there. I've outgrown. And the thing is, if you don't realize it, you really will not move on to the next level. You won't. Um, you will not walk to the next chapter where God is taking you, and you know where He's taking you. So if you want to put a pause in your life, if you want it to take forever, if you want there to be a delay to your success, keep returning back to your past. And I promise you won't make it. You can't take those individuals with you. It doesn't matter who they are. If they were included, you wouldn't know that. They're not a part of your future. They're a part of your past, and you have to leave them there. And if you try to carry them with you, you just won't move. You won't progress. And you'll look up, and years will have gone by, and you're still trying to progress to the next level. It's not going to happen. God controls everything. That's why I'm so amazed. I mean, different people have their beliefs, and everyone is allowed to believe what they want to believe. But I'm amazed at the people that do not believe in God as the creator. Who do you think controls your life and what happens? I don't know if you think you control that yourself or what, but you don't. You definitely don't. Thank you for listening. Have a happy Tuesday, a blessed Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share. And I will be doing some live shows. This is a podcast. I will be having some important people on here, and I will be here to inspire and drop gems.